All right, so let's take a little look at some of the details of the settings of any individual parser. I'm going to cancel that previous parse and I'm going to reparse so that the log is fresh. So we see, if we scroll up a little bit, we'll see that it tells us where the configuration folder is for this particular parser. The parser is selected here. We're using a FANUC parser, and the log confirms that this is where the configuration for that is. So I'm just going to copy that into the clipboard, and I just want to show you what some of the settings are. I'll just paste that in. So there are a number of little text files in the configuration folder. You typically don't need to edit these, but if you needed to for your specific machine, you could do that. Scope settings is probably one that may be interesting. It defines what range of values are considered local, global, and machine. So local variables live only within a sub procedure, and they need to be identified within a certain range of values. This is pretty well known if you search around on the internet for macro B programming. And then the global scope here, this is pretty typical, 100 to 531, but you can change this. And this dictates here in the registers when you start stepping through. So if I look at the local scope, there's nothing in the local scope right now. I'll jump into a sub. So now the local, you can see, has seven parameters in the local scope because they were passed through. And then the machine, things like the actual positions, and then you have system level variables in a higher level range. And the watch node is for keeping an eye on variables. Just select it and then choose add watch, and then you won't have to, it's kind of a nice convenient place to store variables or registers, if you want to call them that, so you can monitor them as you step through the code. Sometimes during troubleshooting, something's just not quite right, and you need to step one line at a time. So that's it. That's where your configuration files are stored. You can browse some of these. They're documented probably lightly. There's custom procs, and then there's a map file. The map files tell it the word that aligns with a procedure, and so that tells me that G100 aligns with 9050, and then 9050 is actually defined here. Same here with system level. You've got a map that says G53 aligns with this procedure, and then so anytime the software encounters a G53, it's going to run the sub-procedure defined here. So this is saying 54. So if we look at 54, so it's going to run the 54, and you can customize these if you want to, certainly. And here is kind of a, for every single word or letter or address can be mapped to a particular machine level variable. So these can be used anywhere in the parse tree. So anytime an A or a B or a C is encountered in the G code, that value is assigned to this pound variable. So that's just an overview of how things are wired up here in the macro parser and debugger built into the Discriminator CNC editor. Thanks for watching.